The community of Oaklawn, a neighborhood in South Wichita, has historically been a low-income area. This community was devastated by a tornado in April 2012 that only increased the challenges of families already struggling to meet needs. Roughly 27% of Oaklawn residents live below the national poverty level. That's compared to Sedgwick County's average of 14%, and 13% are unemployed, compared to Wichita's 5.7%. Many residents go days without showers, weeks without utilities, and regularly struggle to provide basic necessities for their families. To help meet the needs and to provide hope for the community, a new initiative was begun in November 2012, the Giving Center, sponsored by Lighthouse Community Church. Initially, it served as the headquarters for United Way volunteers as they distributed goods following the tornado. Today, nearly 3 years later, the Giving Center provides food, clothes, medical treatment, and other basic necessities for over 1,000 people a month in the community. The clientele varies. Some need one-time support following an emergency, while others have minimum wage jobs where they simply cannot provide for their families. There has been an increase in the homeless population, and most, if not all, face legitimate needs that require outside help. The Giving Center assesses each case to make sure that the right kind of help is given to each client. Since opening, the Giving Center has nearly tripled the number of families that it serves. In 2014, over 47,000 pounds of food were distributed, and over 50% of that went to children. The Giving Center partners with the Kansas Food Bank, World Impact, and various local churches to supply the goods and services. Despite the hundreds of volunteer hours and support, there were several times last year when they ran out of food before the end of the month and were unable to meet the needs of families. In 2015, these needs have continued to increase. One neat example of how the Giving Center meets the needs of people every day started with the donation of virtually an entire household with furniture, linens, and kitchenware. Before they could even unpack and sort the donation, a family arrived at the Giving Center and began to select some clothes. One of the volunteers asked them about their situation and found out that the house they were living in had just burned down. The donation of a complete household of items was just what this family needed. In view of the growing challenges that Oaklawn faces, we are reaching out to find new corporate sponsors. Since the Giving Center is powered mostly by local caring volunteers and the overhead costs are covered by local churches, 100% of what you give goes to help families in need. We're asking you to help make a difference. Will you please join other corporate sponsors in supporting this worthwhile charity? If so, we'd be pleased if you'd take a look at the brochure, which tells a little bit more about the Giving Center and steps to becoming a corporate sponsor. Let's join together and rebuild this community to make a real difference in these people's lives.